I want to talk about how Jonah's disobedience didn't stop God from what he wanted to do with Jonah's life. So let's talk about obedience. Keep watching. Welcome to Living Purified. My name is Debbie, and this is my online journal to living a purified life with my mind, body, and spirit for Christ. And I'm so excited because Jonah, the book of Jonah, is only 4 chapters. And I know there are so many lessons in this. I've actually really marked up my own Bible and talked about obedience. Because the first lesson is not letting your pride and your selfishness get in the way of your purpose. Jonah didn't care. Jonah was trying to live his best life. He didn't give a damn. Like, he knew God, but he also was like, yeah, I'm not about to go do that. But God will give you the tools to do it. He just needs your obedience and your willingness. The second lesson is your purpose is bigger than you. I think the biggest lesson was there was over 120,000 people that got delivered, and that could have been held up by one person's disobedience. But the crazy thing is, God didn't care that he was disobedient. He said, okay, you want to be disobedient? You want the easy road or you want the hard road? So it's like, you have to realize that whatever God is trying to do in your life, it's not supposed to just bless you. It's also supposed to bless other people. And Jonah found that out later on, whether he liked it or not. The third lesson that I learned from Jonah and being obedient is God can use your disobedience to still bless other people. Even in the midst of Jonah being disobedient, to getting on the ship with random men that are from God knows where, they're just hopping on a boat. He's just trying to go anywhere but where God told him to go. And it goes into the next lesson, which is you have to examine your environment. These sailors had to examine who was in their squad and who had caused this great storm. Because during their sailing, once they got off to sea, all of a sudden there's this big storm. They're wondering what the heck is going on. We're about to die. I don't know what's going on. It's like you have to really check your environment. Check who you have around you. You have to check what you're doing, what you're listening to, who's around you, who's surrounding you. And they're like, call out to your God, call out to your God. And everybody's looking at Jonah, and then they're like, well, what about you? Maybe, and Jonah knows in the back of my mind, I know why this is happening. It's because of me, why y'all going through this storm. So it's like you have to check that. And what's so crazy is they threw that man over the daggone boat. It just got calm. It said, oh. And what's so crazy is even though Jonah was disobedient, those men on the boat got to know who God was. The people in the town of Nineveh got to know who he was. It was such a blessing, even in disguise, that the sailors, the city of Nineveh and the sailors were delivered due to their obedience the first time around. People who didn't even know God was fearful and submitted to his power versus Jonah, who knew God, but let his anger overcome to see the greater purpose of God. And I think that is something we have to be very careful for. But the last lesson I learned about obedience is that everything comes together for good. Jonah was so pissed at God. Jonah knew that God was gracious and compassionate, and he was so upset that he only wanted God to show mercy towards him and not extend it to other people. But God will give you the tools to get it done. You just have to be willing and available. And when you're willing and available, he can use you. And even if you have a horrible mindset, he can still use you to bless other people. But one thing I'm going to realize in my walk in purity, in my mind, body, and spirit, is that I have to be obedient to God. I have to be open and willing to let God use me. And even when I don't agree with why and how and what he's going to use me for, I just need to have a spirit of openness and obedience. I have struggled with this before. I think that this is something that it's not easy, but it's necessary. And if you want God to bless you, but not just bless you, but also use you while you're still here on earth, you have to be obedient. I love the book of Jonah on obedience. It's one of my favorite books. I never knew how much I could get from this one book of 4 chapters, but it's so many different lessons that I absolutely love. So, if you like this video, please let me know. Let me know what you thought about the book of Jonah. Let me know about your experiences with being obedient to God. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.